Okay, can everybody still live?
Yeah.
We had to do this.
Yeah.
That was good. All right. Hi, everybody. I am not Elle or Jashana or Jade or Jesse. I am Alan, and I am here having commandeered the Worldhoppers through nefarious means. I am clearly the best person to host, as I am the only person in this frame right now who does not understand the Worldhoppers reference. So, Worldhoppers is a collaborative organization where all ad money goes to charity. So make sure you don't skip the ads and watch them so all of that sweet charity money can make it to people who are needier than ourselves. Today, I have people who joined me on this illicit operation to crash the party. Ryan, the tech specialist. Christy, the getaway van driver who has terrible takes on cinema and novels alike. The illustrious Michael Knipp, the high-rolling gambler who bankrolled this operation. And then the market assassin, Leslie, from the Nerdy Narrative. So I'll let them introduce themselves if they want. Ryan.
Hello, my name is Ryan. I'm from the channel Seeking Stories, and I guess we're in the movie Baby Driver right now.
Yes, I've never seen that, but I understand that reference.
That's cute.
It's a good movie.
Christy?
Hi, yeah, I'm Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. And I was just supposed to say my name and my channel? Is that it?
What's your channel about?
Oh, I love fantasy and science fiction, and also classics and children's, and mostly that. Yeah, and live streaming. That's mostly it, though.
You're the queen of live streaming.
I love live streaming and bad taste. I have bad taste, apparently.
How do you feel about the end of Morningstar?
I love the whole entire book. Okay, I love the whole thing, including the ending. I have no problems with it.
I would have agreed with you until you said the last sentence, but okay.
Yeah, the whole thing is fine. No problems.
My name is Michael from the channel Michael Knipp. I mostly read fantasy, but I'll read whatever, and I'm gonna read whatever this month. I don't care anymore.
Michael Knipp. I thought that was Tom Selleck over there in that Hawaiian shirt.
This is not sponsored by Sonic. Should I have brought a paper bag or something for this drink?
Oh gosh.
I think
It's right off his friend's cameo.
Yeah, we're not on a network, so I think you're okay to
Okay.
show Sonic. Did you get some tots with it?
Oh no, dude. No. It's just a drink only.
Did you get some Mott's sticks? Have you ever had Sonic's Mott sticks?
I love their mozzarella sticks.
Leslie, there's no cheese in them. It's literally just breading. Like, it's empty breading. Do you know how often I get an empty Sonic Mott stick?
There's something wrong with you.
Have I ever
Why are you
literally
buying them?
There's something wrong with you.
There's no cheese inside.
I've never. Sonic is one of my favorite restaurants. I've been eating there for years. I love 50-cent corn dog day. I get mozzarella sticks every time. I've never had one that was
Michael is so disgusted with that response that he has left.
They see you coming, Alan, and they do it on purpose. They're like, let's set this guy off again. Maybe we'll cause him to have a heart attack this time.
Can you hear this fan in my microphone? It is so hot in here, guys.
What? It's hot in there? Aren't you in Iowa?
I'm in Nebraska. It's so hot though.
Isn't your shirt cooling you off?
Are you guys think my glasses
Just looking at it's cooling me off.
Well,
Yeah. I can't hear Michael over his shirt. That's why he's coming in quiet.
Oh man.
I guess we need to move on to Leslie.
hi. Oh, I totally messed that up. What up, nerds? My name is Leslie. I have a channel called The Nerdy Narrative. I like to read everything. I do not stick to just one or two things. I like a variety. I need to spice up my reading life.
Nice. All right, so we are 5 minutes into this video. no one is still watching, but that's okay. That means we can have even more fun. So, ladies and gentlemen,
We can talk about all the things.
That's right. We're going to talk about tropes because Worldhoppers not yet done a video about tropes. We're going to talk about tropes that we like, and we may end up delving into tropes we don't like, but we're going to keep this in an hour. So we're just going to talk about some tropes that we like. Doesn't necessarily have to be our favorites, but some that we like. I will probably tell you that your trope is garbage because I have
You're garbage.
What?
You're garbage.
That's just so rude.
Your channel
That
is
was the
built on lies.
Hottest take on the internet.
Michael's channel is built on lies.
True.
See? So yeah.
But he doesn't try to pass off his lies as true.
Yeah, so Leslie is here because I thought I would do her a solid by putting her in a video where she doesn't have to talk about tell lies about how she's going to win the Olympics shelf space readathon.
Wait till you see tomorrow, buddy. Wait till you see what I have tomorrow.
Well, I've already won. Besides that, all right. So we're gonna talk about tropes. A trope that I don't like is the lying Leslie who tells things that aren't true. All right, Ryan. What is a trope? What is a trope in fiction? More specifically, probably written fiction that you enjoy.
So I wrote down 3 tropes that I like. So the one that I think that I like the most, I thought about this for 6 hours trying to figure out the best trope, Alan, the best one. It has to be done right, and I think it's the big caveat. It has to be done right. I appreciate Here Comes the Cavalry if it's not the true climax of the story. We're 60 years into Lord of the Rings. Are we allowed to spoil Lord of the Rings on this?
Yes.
Anyone can spoil Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Return of the King, when Rohan's troops literally come on cavalry to save Minas Tirith, the city from burning. I like tropes like that when they're foreshadowed and when there's character development on both sides. There had to be development on the sides of the cavalry coming to save the heroes, but the heroes, they can't be like their like saving moment. They can't be the big climactic moment. There has to be a final moment where they have to make choices and decisions later on that impact the story as a whole. So I like Here Comes the Cavalry as long as it's not like the final moment in a story and as long as it's foreshadowed correctly. That's my hot take. I don't know if it's hot or not.
So you don't like, first of all, you took mine because I was going to say that one. So that's good. That's a good one.
Right. Yeah, we believe that.
Yeah, I love Here Comes the Cavalry, but I think I like it in all situations better than you. So you don't like it when it's like it comes out of nowhere and it just solves all the heroes' problems for them without them having
Correct.
to do it.
I think that's stupid. It has to be set up correctly.
It leads into Deus Ex Machina more than Here Comes
Exactly.
the Cavalry.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If it's a Deus Ex Machina, no thanks. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil like movies, but I mean, Lord of the Rings, I mean, that I feel like is the epitome of it because it's truly a cavalry charge at the end of it. There's a bunch of other stories that do it, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like more than just a well set up ending, you like a military charge.
Yeah. Without spoiling it, like I may have cried at the end of Avengers Endgame, and that's like only the 3rd movie I ever cried in. For any movie you've seen it,
that moment was amazing, and I think there were spoiled Avengers Endgame. It was what,
Have
like
you never
we're 2
watched,
years in.
Have you never watched a Pixar film? Have you only cried at 3 movies?
Wally.
Dude?
Oh man, I cried at the beginning of
Who
Wally.
cries
cried
on
at
Wally? What?
No,
I cried in Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, guys. I cried.
I cried in it too.
I ugly cried so hard in Toy Story 3, my wife wanted to walk out without me.
I cried at the end of Toy Story 4, but only because they
Don't spoil it.
destroyed Woody's legacy. That's why.
That's what I've heard. That's why I won't watch the movie because I've heard that Woody makes a choice he wouldn't have made, and I refuse to watch it.
Thank you. It is unconscionable. It is an abomination. They completely undermine 3 movies worth of character development.
I believe it. I won't watch it.
Watch this. Christy has a hot take. She's about to say she liked Toy Story 4.
I don't even remember it. Hot take, I don't really like Toy Story.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I haven't watched past the second one.
What?
I
What?
thought the
Thank
second
you,
one
Leslie.
sucked. The first
Join
one was great.
me.
It was cute, but the second one,
Toy Story 3 is the greatest Pixar movie of all time. Actually, that's not
What
true,
the
but I loved
crap,
it.
Dude, don't say such garbage.
I mean, do
I'm
something different.
speechless.
They're all the same. They're all the same. Like if the
I'm
second one had been Toy Story 2, the toy box on fire,
What the frick are we doing
Oh.
here? I can't believe I showed up to this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have let barbarians inside.
What have you done, Alan?
I'm sorry. Toy Story 1 is my favorite, Ryan. Toy Story 1, I think.
Because it's the only good one.
I mean,
Trolls and
no.
If
but
we're
it's
talking
good.
straight Pixar, Monsters Inc.'s my favorite.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that one.
I
Oh
love
yeah, Monsters Inc. is great.
Okay.
Monsters Inc., Cars, and Finding Nemo, my kids have on repeat. all
Okay,
day long.
Cars is garbage, as is Finding Nemo. But
Cars is
I'll bring it.
good.
I'll bring it back to
No,
talking about-
you
Wait,
stop right there.
You don't like
did
Toy
not
Story, but
come
you like
after Nemo.
Cars? What the
Yeah.
crap?
I like Cars.
Highway.
Cars is cute.
When you have a
Nobody
2-year-old
comes after
boy,
Nemo.
you watch Cars all the time.
And that means that should increase your hatred of it.
It's better than it was when I watched it 17 years ago, whenever.
This is false. This is false.
Al is never going to let you do another live stream, Alan.
This is terrible. Okay, bringing it back to Here Comes the Cavalry. How do you guys feel about Ryan's choice? I approve.
Mostly, I like Aragorn's speech. You know, the "Not this day" speech.
I
That's
see in
really
your
what I
eyes.
appreciated. Yeah,
Alan
I don't
doesn't
really
like Lord
care
of the
about the
Rings.
fighting, so. But the speeches I like.
Alan, do you remember this moment when you saw it in theaters
I have seen it one
17
time.
years ago?
Correct. That is when I saw it. That's
I
when
know.
I
You're
have
going to watch
told
it
my
again this
wife
year,
that.
aren't you?
I've told Christina that I have the extended set box set on my Amazon. I'm gonna buy it one day and we're gonna watch them because I've only
The
seen them.
extendeds are good. There's a lot of there's a
But
lot
you
of good
need
stuff
to
in there.
reread the books first.
Yeah, Klaus put Fellowship of the Ring is the word I'm looking for.
Yes, it is.
Fellowship of the Ring on my little spinny patron wheelie thing to pick. So maybe I'll end up reading it. Or you said there's a Lord of the Rings readathon later.
There is a Lord of the Rings readathon
Well, then,
later this year. More details to be announced.
TBA, y'all heard it here first. All right, for
Yep.
everybody for everybody still watching, we hope you're enjoying this sparkling commentary
Talk on tropes.
on the state of the American cinema, and how Christy and Leslie have the hottest takes on BookTube. Like I can't even I don't even know how to process the information that you just conveyed. Christy,
I don't
what is
know.
it?
You
And
keep
Michael's just
eating
disappointed in
empty
all of us.
mozzarella sticks, so
Sonic does not put any cheese in them. It is fried batter surrounding air. It's like biting into the solar system.
So
But
buy your mozzarella sticks elsewhere.
I mean it's so simple.
Mic drop, Christy.
just got savage.
I'm not
man.
taking a second trip when I'm at Sonic. And every time I go there to get ice cream, the freaking little wall always suggests, do you want mozzarella sticks? Well, I didn't till you told me I did. And so I get some. And they're always nasty.
It's like Sonic
So you're
has an algorithm,
susceptible
just
to
like
their
YouTube.
brainwashing? Maybe we should skip me and move on to Michael.
What is a trope you like, Christy?
Well, I think we should start off with the classic crop circles.
Is that what?
Just kidding.
She's making a Signs joke. This is
Christy thinks Signs is a good movie. Everyone needs to be
I
aware.
love science.
I back up Christy on this.
I was gonna say, don't let Ryan get away with the fact that he agreed with her. So
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Ryan
that-
also thinks Signs
I
is a good
started
movie.
it. I think Christy's the one who backed me up.
Ryan thinks that Signs is Shyamalan's best film. Confirmed.
I did not say that.
I thought that was the last Airbender.
Oh yeah,
oh,
it's true.
goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah, no, not that one.
Nope.
I'm only joking. I've never seen that in a book. So, and we're supposed to be talking about books. I know. So,
Last Airbender's a no, it's not.
Ella's literally never gonna let me do this again.
No, she's not.
I'm sorry. Okay,
He's not gonna make
I'm
this
moving
damage.
on.
He's gonna screen it and then just delete it.
Guys, Wednesday, if this is not the video that comes up Wednesday, you know that's exactly what she did.
Yeah. Keep a copy on your channel.
Yes, keep a copy.
Yes, I will. I'll download it before she. All right, Christy, tropes.
I'm not sure my real answer will actually help the state of the situation,
It's
but I'm
definitely
going
not.
to give it anyway because I'm an honest person. I really like when books explore the themes of death and suffering. I think that's very I just like it when books explore that. I find that the most interesting because it makes life seem brighter and fuller, I think, in contrast. So like when Kaladin's suffering is explored, I know people make fun of that a lot. I don't think that's really a spoiler. You know from the beginning that he has depression.
Page one. Page one spoiler.
Page one. You know that's actually probably good to know going in, so you're not.
Well, not page one.
Yeah.
You've got the 3 prologues.
True. I wish someone told me that going into Way of Kings.
There's 4 fake beginnings.
That's true. What Michael said.
That's ridiculous.
And you know, like,
annoying.
and in the prologues, you see some serious suffering too. I like that there's so much depth to the world building in Brando's worlds, where you see that there's whole civilizations and histories, and that age and that depth. And yeah, I that's a whole other trope too. But anyways, I like that exploration of the death and the suffering that's always explored in Brando's work.
You like it when our protagonists like suffer and are miserable and sad. So you like sad protagonists, sad
It's
suffering.
It's true.
Yes, I really do. And I think Russian literature does it really well too.
Yeah, I was literally about to ask if that's why you like Russian lit.
We're
But
all talking
again-
about all the sad stuff the Russian authors write, and Krishy's over there grinning. She's like, "This is great."
This is wonderful. But I think Brando gets a handle on that really well. And it's really interesting because he's always talked about how he's not a very emotional person, but I feel like he handles that really well. So I like that in his work.
So do you think that Edward Cullen and Jacob are good examples of that trope and you like them?
I've always thought that they were
completely different trope.
I don't think so. I think they are very sad and just like pain.
I felt like when I was
Edward
an emo
for sure.
teenager, I feel like the whole series understood me.
See,
But it
Michael,
is a different trope.
so
for
does
sure.
Edward not fit that trope?
Edward 100% fits the trope. Jacob not so much, but Edward.
I think Leslie's right. I think it's a different trope.
Well,
I
he
do
can
think
embody more than one. Edward is a complex character who deserves a lot of discussion. So
Yes,
I don't think
agree.
you're trying to simplify him into one box.
Yes, I agree.
What?
I agree.
Why
But-
does he go to high school? It's like 100.
We don't have time for this, Alan.
Okay.
I can explain it to you on the off season.
Okay, in the office. Be one of those,
Chrissy, the
one of those-
Twilight adaptation is example of pain and suffering.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah.
This episode, Elle's gonna bury this episode on like the bonus features of the DVD.
I'll go ahead
That'd
and
be an
say
Easter
that
egg. You have to have a
I'm
code.
sorry. I know I just made it worse. That's why I said maybe you should skip me. Moving on
adaptations
to
are bad.
Michael.
What, Michael?
Adaptations are bad.
All
Say
of
that
them?
again.
All of them.
Say that
Even
again.
Lord of the Rings?
It's worse than the books.
Really?
Whoa.
But
What?
Peter Jackson can show me what a tree looks like. I no longer have to read about it repeatedly.
The original medium is always the best medium for anything.
I don't know. The Martian, the book, and the Martian, the movie are like.
Don't let Christy talk about The Martian.
Why?
That was the hottest take she had last week.
What? Not like The Martian?
I gave it
haven't
3
read it.
stars. I gave the book 3 stars.
Wait,
sorry.
is
The
that
book
a
is
five-
fantastic.
I love
The
the
science
movie,
fiction-
though.
I believe she
love
said
the
something
movie.
like the science fiction book had too much science in it, and so she didn't like it.
It just didn't have that much to say about humanity. I feel like it was just like a guy surviving on Mars,
Well,
and that's
yeah,
it.
that's kind of
It was so dull.
It's a human
It was-
surviving on Mars. I haven't even
That's
read it.
it.
No.
That's all it was. though.
And
So the
humanity.
human-
I needed more out of it. There was
Christy,
no human
Pain and
interaction.
suffering.
There was
He's alone for like 2.5 years.
Ryan said
humanity was cheering for this one man's rescue. The entire world.
I know that some people think human progress is beautiful and all that, and it is, but I just didn't care. that much. I'm sorry.
But he
you know.
grew potatoes on Mars.
Michael.
He grew poop potatoes.
Right.
Oh my
Oh my God.
See, I've never seen anybody give that book less than 5 stars.
That book was amazing.
Well, that's
Don't
fine.
do-
Four.
You
Christy,
probably will too.
Well, I
Look,
give
it's
everything
amazing.
5 stars. Ryan gives nothing 5
I give
stars.
nothing.
Honestly, I think
looked up
the
how many books
humor
I give 5
alone-
stars on.
How many
the
books?
humor is fantastic.
Last
Yeah,
4 years,
I think
I've
the
given 4
humor
books
is
5
enough
stars.
for most people to give it 5 stars. But I'm not a
The-
humor reader.
Well,
So
and the
it's just-
science fiction part of it was written in a way that was understandable to someone who knows nothing about it. But the
Yeah, I
comedy was just on point, and
So, hot take: Christy doesn't like science
Ugh.
fiction. Confirmed.
I like science fiction, but I just need a lot more humanity. I need a lot of more human elements, which is why I
Christy.
love, I haven't read
Christy.
this particular one yet, but I love this series because there's so much human element.
Have you read Iron Gold?
yes, because they don't.
I
put
just said
any
I
of
haven't read this one yet,
Oh.
but I love this series because there's so much relational. Relational is what I'm getting at. There's a
Yes,
lot of
because
relational.
Pierce
Martian
elements.
can't
Brown
help-
doesn't write any
There's only one
technology in.
He can't. He does. There's no one for him to talk to.
I know
I like
that's why I didn't like it. There needs to be more. Okay, one
But
of
you
the
knew
tropes
that
that
going in. Did you hate read it?
no, I didn't really know what I liked back then. I was like probably 20 when I read it. I was just reading everything, and I just realized, it's not really my thing.
How old are you now?
I'm 29.
Oh, sorry. I thought you read it I thought you read it last week. Like I literally thought this was a recent thing.
No,
Michael
No,
over here, like,
she just talked about it last week. That's why I said that.
oh, Michael digging up bodies over here.
I don't give
Yeah.
a crap, man. Look how chill I am. Look how chill I am in this shirt.
All right, Michael, your turn.
Dude,
hot
I can't just pick one thing. I'm the guy that doesn't care because I like all the tropes. Like I think they can all be fine. So
Then
like
choose-
I don't know.
Choose
What?
one trope that you do like.
If I'm gonna pick one that I do like, I love anything having to do with bromance. So if two dudes are gonna be having to work together and they hate each other, I love the moment where they have to fight each other and then the fight makes them respect each other.
Nice.
Love it. I don't care how many times you do it in a series, I love it every time.
Like the part in Morningstar.
Yep. Like the part of the Morning Star, like any series ever. It's probably a spoiler, but the Lies of Locke Lamora has some of that too. Like, and I don't care where I see it, every time.
Have you read
Honestly,
Greatcoats?
I have not, but I
There
do own them.
is the if you like bromances, there is so much bromance between the 3 of those main characters in those books.
Don't you already use your own channel to sell that series enough? And now you're trying to capture this channel just to sell that again?
Well, Elle hated the first one, so she will never promote it. So I have to.
So, Michael, I'm on the other side of that. I love a good, strong, loyal friendship, but I love when it starts out that way and it ends that way without altercation, miscommunication. Oh, I thought this happened and this happened, and they get mad and they make up and all this stuff. Like, no.
Most of the time, it doesn't come from miscommunication. It comes from direct communication
Well,
where people
it's-
disagree.
That or somebody
See,
knows
that's-
something and they're withholding it for, I'm trying to protect you.
So
Just
a
no.
trope I super hate is the miscommunication trope. I hate when
Yes.
people will not talk when they just say things. The reason I love this bromance version of this trope so much is because these dudes don't give a crap. They'll say what they feel, they say what they think right away, and they're gonna have to come to blows over it. Then the fighting each other builds that respect that they can move forward on. I love it so much.
You need to read Greatcoats. You would like it. Kristen read it, right, Ryan?
Kristen loved it. She
See?
absolutely loved it.
They're just gonna cut this part of it out.
No.
Where you're talking about Greatcoats.
Why do you keep trying to cut it out, Michael? I'm telling you, you'd like the books.
The banter. I'm about 10% in. The banter is really good.
Yeah. So yeah, the bromance. What other books have you read that have that in there? I know there's the Ryria Chronicles is supposed to have a really good bromance between Hadrian and Royce. I have not read them yet. I have heard that though.
I mean, like Liza Locklear was the one I mentioned. You talked about what's the Pierce Brown one? That Pierce Brown one that we were just talking about.
Red Rising.
Is it called
Severo
Red?
and
Is the whole
Darrow.
series? Yeah, is it called Red
Yeah.
Rising?
Yeah.
And then
Saga.
what's the name of? I mean, even like Lord of the Rings has some of that. They don't fight each other,
Mhm.
but like Legolas and Gimli, like any, I don't know. This is not a book, but the Fast and Furious poster is right off screen for me.
Did you see the trailer for Fast 9?
I haven't seen 8 yet. Which is I only feel bad because I'm a big fan of the series.
I've seen 0 of them. I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie. I'm neither fast nor furious.
I would
fix
say
that.
you're furious.
I'm furious in my devotion to truth
Oh
and
gosh.
success.
Furious in your ardor of lies.
Leslie, what trope do you like?
I'm trying to decide if my favorite trope is found family or I just forgot the other one.
I was wondering
It
if you're
was
going to give like a
between
hot take because Film is a good one. That's okay.
Oh, redemption arcs.
Oh heck
I
yeah!
love
Oh,
redemption
yeah.
tropes. Absolutely. I've always been a huge lover of second chances and I just love redemption. But probably found family would edge it out. So that's just I guess
Why do you like
because I've had my birth parents divorced when I was 5 and they both remarried and they had kids from previous marriages, but we all lived close to each other. And I grew up with all of my step siblings and we all love each other. Even for my mom's remarriage and my dad's remarriage, we all grew up together and we all loved each other. And so when you choose to love somebody, that's a huge deal. That's just making it a choice. And so I love reading about it in books, especially when it's a good relationship. So that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, found family. I like found family also. I was never super close to my family. My parents were divorced also, and so my friends, the D&D group that I played with and stuff, I was always much closer to them than I was to my actual family. So I like that one also. I think that's not a hot take. I think most people. I actually don't know anybody who maybe Christy. Christy, do you hate the found family trope?
I don't think so. I'm not sure I've read a bunch of them.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the group of misfits that come together.
It's Bridgeport, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
It's that 4 bridge.
Yeah.
There's that 4 bridge there.
I like Bridgeport.
Redemption
Yeah,
arcs are
okay.
also my favorite. I'm a sucker for them at all points. Anytime you give me a redemption arc, I don't care if it's poorly handled, I'll probably buy into it.
Especially mornings.
I like. Okay, so I like redemption arcs. I do not like. There is an offshoot, a schism, if you will, of the redemption arc that doesn't redeem a villain, but instead chooses to explain away. It's like with every one of these freaking Disney remakes of I don't need to know Cruella de Vil's backstory. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Guess who else? I don't care about Maleficent's backstory. I do not need this humanization of the villains in an attempt to kind of
That
make
is a
them
hot
deeper.
take. That's a hot take, dude.
I don't like it. I don't mind the villain being human. I don't mind him not being pure evil. But when an author is very clearly just trying to be oh, look how misunderstood he is. That's why he's doing this. Shut up.
So
I don't like it.
Ooh.
Are you okay with the mustache twirling villain? Are you okay with the pure
I
evil
am
villain?
okay. Anyone who grew up playing JRPGs or
Yes,
D&D
dude. This is gonna
has
make me
to
so
be
happy.
okay with the mustache twirling, because that before video games were really kind of the kind of art they are now as far as storytelling is concerned. Video game villains were they were all now I will destroy the world because I just want power. I don't care. I don't need to know Kefka's backstory. I don't care. He just wants to burn the world down. Some men just want to watch the world burn. I'm okay with that.
I am always okay with a pure evil villain. I know that seems to be extremely unpopular with anyone I talk to. But yeah, I can't. I don't know. I don't want to hit my camera.
Well, and to use a
What? Go ahead, Ron.
what?
Go ahead. To use what?
Oh, sorry, if everything
there.
broke up. To use a movie example, which knowing me, that's what I always do. Just take a look at the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, forgetting about the 4 that came after that. You look at Barbossa, and he is kind of close to a mustache-twirling villain. He has humanity to him, he has motivation, but he still is kind of in that first movie, just by itself, a pure villain. And he was one of the, in my opinion, one of the best pure villains we've seen in cinema over the last 20, 30 years. Like, you love to hate him, but he had like great characterization within himself.
I completely agree. The first Pirates of the Caribbean, just in general, is one of the most perfectly paced movies that I've seen. It is just so good from beginning to end. It is amazing. And then they just botch the whole thing any time they extend it. Like Barbossa is one of my favorite villains of all time. He might be my favorite cinema villain for sure. I love Barbossa.
You did.
I want Alan video on Barbossa now.
You're in one.
Yeah. So good. Jeffrey Rush. You couldn't have picked a
Jeffrey
better
Rush
character.
is an amazing actor just in general.
Yes. You take an unassuming actor. Of course, he's famous for that now. But you take a character, an actor like that who like pirate really, and throw him in a villainous role, and that's like perf casting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've derailed us again.
Sorry. No. I guess I'm gonna go to mine. I'll just continue with mine being like the mustache twirling villain. Like, I like evil villains. I like villains who are evil. I don't. And part of this is I've had a lot of discussions about this. In just there's people doing a Dragonlance Chronicles read along, and I'm in that Voxer, and I don't like the character of Raceland, which he's just this like really he was the morally gray hero back in the 90s before that really kind of became the big thing like it is now. And I am much more, I think I'm one of the few people who really morally gray's fine. Like, it's fine. It's not that I don't like it, but I think I'm one of the few people who doesn't dislike morally white and morally black characters. I'm fine with a group of heroes who believe in, honor and justice and all that kind of stuff. And occasionally, make a bad decision or make a hard choice. And I'm fine with villains who aren't misunderstood. They're just evil because they're horrible human beings, like not because, I'm just, my company crashed and I've got to get back at Tony Stark because he just isn't, I was a good guy, but he took away my livelihood. And then my wife died because I couldn't save her with the technology that Stark cut me off of. So now I'm going to, I don't care. Like, guess what? I woke up one day and wanted to control the world. Done. Like, you know what I mean? And that is not a popular take nowadays. The morally gray characters is where it's at. And I get it. I do understand. I think they can, by and large, be more interesting, just kind of objectively more interesting because they are less predictable, if you will. I don't care. I like, bad guys that stand for nothing and good guys that stand for everything, if that makes sense. So I think
there's room on both sides of the spectrum for all types of villains. I mean, look at the Joker from The Dark Knight. I mean, I don't think anyone, I'm sure there's some people, but most people wouldn't question one of the best cinema villains of all time.
I like him.
And he is, I mean, there's no white to him. He's black. I mean, he says it. I just want to watch the world burn.
In fact, the one thing when I watched that movie for the first time, I got mad when he explains how he got his scars until I realized that he's just screwing with people because he told a different story to the next person.
Every time.
And I'm like, oh, this is not him. This is him lampshading this is why I am this way. I love that. But when he did it the first time, I'm like, man, really lame. So
yeah.
So, all right, Ryan, give us another one.
Real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to butt in and say that on the mustache twirling villain thing, the Farseer trilogy has a villain that I love to hate because he's just bad more than anything I've read in like the last 3 years. I don't want to say who it is because it's kind of a spoiler, but
Oh,
Yeah.
tell
that
me.
character, I have never wanted to jump into a book and stab someone with my own hands more than the Farseer trilogy.
Leslie Lycos. In Faithful in the
Oh
Fallen,
my
there's a villain like
gosh.
that in Faithful in the Fallen that I felt that exact same way you're talking about. And
I
it's
just
literally for
wanted
no
to
reason.
rip his pages out.
Yeah, literally for no reason other than he's just a huge douchebag. Oh my god.
He goes above and beyond. He exceeds expectations for
Yeah.
douchebaggery.
Yeah.
Sorry
Maybe
to throw
we
you off,
should-
Ryan.
No, sorry. What
Yeah.
about Dolores freaking Umbridge? That's a character you love to hate.
Yeah, she ain't got nothing on Lycos.
Oh man.
Dolores Umbridge in her freaking pink and like,
Purple, wasn't it?
oh hello.
Yeah.
Oh my
Little high
God.
pitched squeak she gives.
Which one is she in? 5? Order of
5,
Phoenix?
yeah. Or the Phoenix.
Is
Who
that the
knows
one
that,
with
dude?
What?
that's
I don't know how anyone knows the difference between those books.
What?
which is the one with Mad Eye Moody?
4, Goblet of Fire.
Oh, okay. Because my favorite line of McGonagall's is that a student? When like I rewind it all the time. just to watch
Technically, it's a
Maggie-
ferret.
Is that a student? I rewind it repeatedly just to watch Maggie Smith.
That's so great.
She's so horrified. All right. Well, it's actually halfway through. Maybe we should talk about a trope we don't like now.
Love triangles.
Insta love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have to discuss these. Don't just say them out. Like,
All right.
What's there to discuss?
Love
No, go ahead. Why do you
triangles.
hate love triangles, Leslie?
Let's see. Just all of us, we're all married. Okay. You love your spouse. Just think about your history with your spouse. When you met, when you guys proposed and she said yes. Christy, when they asked and we said yes. How you felt, your wedding day, the birth of your children. Like, you loved this person. Now imagine they tell you that they have feelings for somebody else. Like, can you imagine that kind of pain? I mean, you can't not just say, oh, well, I'm not going to love you anymore. No, you love this person and they're telling you, well, I love somebody else, or I think I love somebody else, or I have feelings for this third person. And, you know, just putting yourself in the place of the person that's getting told that, it's just like, you're going to immediately have self-doubt. Why wasn't I enough? What can I do to be enough? Like,
That's some heavy stuff. My ex-wife said that exact thing to me. Only she'd been carrying on with it for a while, so I know
Yeah.
exactly how that feels. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
So now that could be an age thing. That could totally be an age thing because I know I read some stuff that had love triangles in it when I was a teenager and early 20s because I did not know what real love was or meant. I hadn't experienced it. So it didn't mean the same thing to me. But at my age where I'm at in my life now, I can't stand that stuff. Like, somebody's getting punched.
Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of infidelity in those kind of relationships in my books either. Like I don't, but I mean, like literally in every single TV show or movie that comes out, like anytime, everyone is just like, oh my gosh, but I was, and it's always like, well, but we were, but I was, but you were, and it's just like, keep it in your pants, guys. Like everyone keep it in your pants. Like you're with this person. And I have to tell my students that. I'm like, hey guys, if you decide you want to be with somebody else, break up with the person you're with and go be with that other person.
Right.
You do not get it both ways, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. I mean, if there's something missing, communicate. Like I can't fix something if you don't tell me. But
We don't fix, we trade up. It's America.
Ooh.
yeah.
This got heavy. This got
It did get heavy.
Can I give my
Yeah.
counterpoint for love triangles?
Well, you can.
he's gonna
Okay.
he's
Okay, most of the time
Twilight
that we're talking about love triangles, I see love triangles the most often in young adult literature. People aren't together already. I hate infidelity like super much, but we're talking about a situation where it's a bunch of teenagers who are very hormonal. They're not in a relationship, They're not sure. Like there's chemistry with both people. That's different, I think, than what you guys are describing. And
I
I think,
just read one. It was adults.
well,
And they were together.
that's not the same. I would not defend that the way that I'm defending this.
Yeah.
But in the circumstance where there's no commitment involved, like I feel like if you ever make a video about like most hated tropes, every single booktuber I've ever watched says they hate the love triangle. But this is like the thing that exists in all YA for a reason because somebody loves it. And I think that we can make distinguishing differences between infidelity and a bunch of hormonal teens that are all attractive and they're all around each other. And this one's strong, but this one's smart and this one's funny. People
I hate
love
the
that
YA
stuff.
one too.
People
Yeah.
love that stuff. This
Who?
is
Why?
Who is that?
why would
Name
they get
somebody.
written? Why would they have been in every book if somebody didn't love it?
I don't know. Floribama Shore is a TV show that
Because
exists.
because Jacob and Edward both have cool qualities.
Oh.
Name one, Michael. Name one of each.
I have 6 videos on that series, so 7 videos on that series.
Twilight?
Yeah, dude.
Why?
Because no one gives it the credit it deserves.
Do you think Twilight's good?
The books were good.
Do
The
you still
movies
think
were
Michael's
terrible.
delightful?
I
Have
think
you- Did you read them?
yes. Okay.
The books are good.
I don't want this to turn into just an ad for my own channel. I think that there are things that the Twilight series does that represents a certain subset of people at a certain point in their lives, and it makes them feel understood. It speaks to them in that point of their lives.
Michael,
Yeah, I love the books.
She says
I
things
didn't-
like she whispered quietly.
I'm not okay. This is a first-person unreliable narrator perspective. All of these things fit into Twilight is better than people give it credit for. Am I saying it's objective like classic literature? By one sense, yes, because it's super popular and it will be involved in culture forever. By the other sense, no. But it does something that it spoke to a generation and people forget that. They ignore that.
This is
She
true.
says she shouted loudly.
Dude, there's way worse stuff in the prose
I mean,
than that. If we're
Alan,
gonna pick
you
apart the
can't
prose, it
say
gets way worse
anything.
than that.
Alan, listen
What?
to yourself. You're
The adverb
pointing
is
out.
implied
You're
in the
pointing out.
verb.
You're pointing out all of these inconsistencies and mistakes when you yourself make a mistake every time you say you're the current readathon champion in shelf space.
No, that's,
You have no ground here.
that's different. No.
No, it's not
He's
different.
100.
It's the
He
same
is
thing.
100 and goes to high school.
Love triangles
He's
are not.
under-
Never
Alan.
look. Do you not tell your students never stop learning?
I feel like this is a trap, but yes.
It's a trap.
So one listened. I mean, how many teachers has this man made very happy that, oh, this one listened?
What? I don't know where we are anymore.
Ryan, what was the one you said, Ryan, that you didn't like?
Oh, Insta love?
No, it's love.
So Twilight
Yeah, that's-
again. I wonder what Michael's hot defense will be here. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Insta love is not Twilight. Okay, the movie Twilight is Insta love. The book is not. It takes place over
Right.
months.
Yep. Many months.
Michael,
love
she
is
sees
stupid.
Edward. She sees Edward, and then they're in love.
No, that's
in the
not
movie.
how it
In the
happens.
movie, it kind of is like that, and
And
it's
then he
actually
says-
worse than that because it's hilariously bad how they portray that.
And
But
then he says, "I'm a vampire," and she doesn't react. She's like, "Oh."
You know
okay.
what?
I don't
Read the
care.
books, Alan. Read the books.
if we're gonna talk
And
about Stewart's
then-
acting in the Twilight movies, we can't. I will not
Yeah.
defend any of it.
I will say this: Michael was kind enough to purchase a copy of Twilight to me, mail it to me, and I read it. And I was going to give it negative 1,000 stars before I read it, and I actually gave it 2 stars. It exceeded my expectations. Not the prose. The prose is
I
trash.
thought you were about to say that was one of your 4 5-star reads, and I was
Oh,
gonna have
no.
gonna have to cut off contact with you.
I didn't.
If I
even
ever
give
say
it
that,
5
please
stars.
do.
I did not even give it 5 stars.
All right, so
I gave
why
it
do you
4
hate
stars.
Insta Love, Ryan?
I hate Insta Love because, well, a couple things. I think there is something different between someone who's like instantly interested in each other. That's not what I'm talking about.
Lust.
Yeah, it's the lust side of things. It's ACOTAR, Alan. Not that I've read it, but I've seen enough of your vlogs to know. It's well, one, it's completely unrealistic, and two, I'm talking from a completely storytelling perspective now. We like, as audiences, as readers, we like, you put it, I guess bluntly, the slow burn, the development, and all that, and we just rush all that and have two characters who are instantly in lust in a way. It's just, it's one, it's unrealistic, and two, we just don't care. Like, why? Like, where's the development? It doesn't serve the story any justice at all.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to invest in that couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
That
it
is
when they
just
just met
stupid.
and all of a sudden they're like, "I'll die for you."
Yeah.
And they're like 17. That's the ones that really hack me off.
I mean, but that's like real. That's real life all the time in my classroom. Why are you crying? He broke up with me. I loved him. How long were we all together? 3 days. All the time. They love everybody.
I love. Have you guys seen Inside Out, the Pixar movie?
It's not good, but yes.
Inside Out? What? Okay, we're not friends anymore. I'm kidding.
Not
They
really.
play on that trope really, really well. With that little scene where even it's in Riley's brain, and you see the little like teenager. He's like, "I would die for Riley. I would die for Riley," and they totally make fun of that, but then use it to their advantage later when she's like, "Okay, time to prove it."
Yeah. And I don't like Inside Out, but Christy doesn't like friggin' Toy Story, so I'll just go ahead and cast shift blame.
You also said Leslie cried during Wall-E, so
Yes, it's so sad. That
What's
robot was
that
left
the movie's like
planet
2 hours long and nothing happens.
by
Makes me
itself,
sad, too.
and it was lonely. Like
He
it
watches
was
Hello
sad.
Dolly.
The
to not-
freaking world. I mean, the whole movie was sad.
To not go too
Can
far
we all
off the
agree that
rails,
the first?
I was just
I was
gonna
gonna
say
the first 10 minutes of Up. Sorry, go ahead,
Yes.
Michael.
That's amazing.
no.
Yeah.
You can talk about the first 10 minutes of Up. That's worth derailing.
Yeah.
That's
I think we're
like
off in a
the
gorge
best
somewhere.
story in best like in worst story ever, all rolled into one.
It's so good. All right. So what were you gonna
Anyway.
get us off back on the rails, Michael?
I was just gonna sort of wrap it all together. Insta-love, the thing is that characters have to see something that sparks some sort of attraction at some point. It is the transition from I'm curious what this person is like, I want to get to know this person more, to the I will make detrimental decisions to my own health, life, whatever career path, just to follow this person that I just met. That's where it sort of crosses over, because
Yeah.
Insta-love, I've seen people describe different books as insta-love, and some of it I don't think fits. I think people use the term insta-love maybe too hastily sometimes, because there has to be some sort of attraction at the beginning. It's when does the character start making really dumb decisions based on this like slight feeling that they just got that's super new. That's where it becomes like, oh, this is very dumb now. This I can't buy into this.
Yeah.
And this proves my point that Michael is more eloquent than I could ever hope to be.
Christy, what's a trope you don't like?
Since we're talking about love tropes, I honestly don't like reading like anything that I like kind of romantic subplots, but anything with love as like a real main plot, I get a little bit too involved. I don't like romantic angst at all, so I don't read a lot of young adult anymore. Yeah, honestly, romantic angst stresses me out, so I get too involved, so I learned to stop reading those a long time ago. So
you don't like romantic. What about Vin and Ellen? Isn't that romantic angst?
yeah, I read them years ago. Yeah, and since they're rereads now, oh no, we lost Ryan.
Oh, I think he thought we were about to talk spoilers. Whoops. Sorry, Ryan. We're not. We can. It's not really spoilers, but we won't talk about it anymore. Ryan, come back. Whoops.
Oh,
Did you leave because we were talking about Mistborn?
No, my internet died.
Oh, I thought you were leaving because you thought we were going to spoil Mistborn. We're not. We're done.
I won't spoil anything. Yeah, there was definitely some romantic angst in there for sure, but I did read those a long time ago. I just prefer to avoid it if I can, but
I
yeah.
gotcha.
So I didn't like the Zane thing for sure. That was not my favorite thing, but that was still my favorite book in the trilogy because it was just so good.
Yeah, it was really
So
good.
it doesn't ruin it.
I'm finally reading the third one this next month. So,
Yeah,
what about you, Michael?
I mean, I've already mentioned some. Miscommunication is probably my absolute least.
I think we can all have plenty to say about this one.
There's no.
Yeah.
Okay, not to spoil anything specific, but there are so many. I've only read the first 3 books of the Wheel of Time, and there are so many times when I'm like, dude, if you would just talk, this book wouldn't exist, or half the book would disappear. Why can't we just
the world.
talk? Why does none of this happen? And it makes me the most mad when there's no reason for them to keep a secret. Sometimes you can justify in a story oh, this is really hard. There are parts of the Red Rising series where there are things that a character you might want them to say, but there's a very in-world, fully justified reason for them not to share this information.
I did not want them to share that.
There are so many other books where people just they won't say the thing, and because they won't say the thing, all of the drama to me just says, well, I'll just throw the book away. I don't care anymore. If you're not going to talk to each other, I don't want to read this. I don't. It will make me want to throw a book more than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that in Well of Ascension where I was just like, if y'all don't get it together, I'm going to it's just driving me crazy. There is actually Ryan, you just finished reading Arm of the Sphinx, the second Babel book. There's a part in there where one character overhears some other characters talking negatively about them. Yeah. And in any other book or show, they would then be like, because right after the part that they heard, they then say, oh, well, here's the things this is why this character is so great. But in anything else, that character would have only heard the bad stuff, and then it would have created this artificial conflict. And I hate that. That's every freaking sitcom ever. Instead, that character was like, why are they saying that? That's kind of mean. And then they hung out and they heard the rest, and they're like, oh, that's nice. And then they moved on. Yeah. And I love that Bancroft subverted that, because you see that crap all the time. The overhearing thing. Ugh. The miscommunication.
And that's something that Bancroft just is so good. He kind of subtly subverts, kind of what you expect because of what you've seen from just cultural references, books, movies, whatever, for years and years and years. He takes those scenarios well, let's tweak it just a bit and make it maybe a little bit more realistic and believable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do not.
Still dramatic, of course, but.
Christy, what are your thoughts on miscommunication?
Oh yeah, I hate them. I was just gonna try and Google it and see if there were some examples on TV tropes, because sometimes they have good examples.
Did you find
any? But yeah, I haven't yet. I just Googled it, but yeah, it kills me.
Yeah,
that's why I don't read romance. I cannot read romance because it's so often just a talk, and there wouldn't be a book here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of, I don't keep anything a secret. If you ever I wonder if I hurt her feelings, don't worry. I will tell you. I'll tell you the instant you do it. Hey, that really cut me deep. Seriously.
That would save a lot of friendships and relationships in life.
I mean, it's hard to offend me anyway, but if you hurt my feelings or I'm sad or upset, I am very forthcoming. I will tell you exactly where you stand. So
that is so good. That's so healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make a good book.
I mean, I'm a happy person, and I mean, you keep it in, it's just going to fester and get worse and
bitterness
blow up even worse.
Yes.
And then it's not affecting that person, it's affecting you. And then if they did something, they don't know they did anything wrong if you don't tell them. So
we get Leslie, a well-adjusted individual.
But if there weren't communication problems, we wouldn't have half the books that we have, guys.
We certainly wouldn't have any sitcoms.
Well, in
sitcoms
comedy,
anyway.
In PG Wodehouse or something, it's it's the whole book. And sometimes they'll just play off of miscommunication constantly, and it's funny because they're doing it on purpose.
Well,
it's okay, that's cool. It's that's cool, but if you're just doing it seriously as a plot device, stop.
So what'd you find on TV tropes?
They mentioned PG Wodehouse, and I was like, oh, that's an example of it using it well.
All right. Well, a trope that I hate, and I hate it with the intensity of 1,000 suns, because I read a lot of military fantasy. I hate the resurrection trope.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
Hmm.
I like it when characters die. I don't. Like, I hate when characters die. I do. But I think it takes boldness from an author to kill off a character and not bring them back. And I think that's gutsy. And it also keeps it keeps a lot of the suspense of a book for me if I know the author is willing to do that, because then no one is safe. Like John Gwynne kills so many bloody characters. And the weird thing about The Faithful and the Fallen is it feels very like a conventional kind of epic fantasy where, you know, like the good guys are going to triumph, and it just feels very much like, okay, how do the good guys triumph? But it's very unconventional in that 90% of the cast of characters are going to die. Like, he kills anyone at any time for any reason. It doesn't matter if they're a big character or little character. And so that stressed me out the whole time. Freaking Pierce Brown does this at times in the Red Rising series. This is where I think George Martin, old Sailor Martin, has lost some of his edge, because no one dies in books 4 and 5. Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons, no one dies. Compare that with the body count in the first 3 books of Song of Ice and Fire. All we get in 4 and 5 is fake out deaths repeatedly. I'm sorry, Martin, when Tyrion falls overboard, no, I don't believe he drowned. And neither does anyone else reading this book. Because, like, there was a time where you could believe it. Like, no one buys any of this crap. Like, the freaking end of Dance with Dragons, anybody that's read it. Does anyone really believe that character's dead? I'm not going to spoil who it is in case you haven't read it. No one believes that character's dead. Not one. Not one person believes that book 6, when it never comes out, is going to start with that character being dead. No one believes it. And so I just don't like it when victory costs nothing, especially when there's these huge battles and the characters die, and I watch one of my favorites go down, and I'm like, no! And then they bring him back to life. And I'm like, I mean, I guess. And it's not, I mean, I don't hate it always. Like, I don't always hate it. But I hate it most of the time. It's like sometimes sometimes it's fine, especially if there's like an in-world reason, like it's been set up beforehand or something. But I don't like it when there's like no cost for anything. Like, they come back, they're just like, cool, thanks guys. Oh, did y'all miss me? Oh,
yeah.
Like,
if it's going to work, and I'm struggling thinking of a good example, and you alluded to this a second ago, Alan, like, it has to be like blatantly foreshadowed, like still hidden in suspense, but like you want the audience to be able to track the breadcrumbs and say, okay, I can realistically buy how that happens.
yeah, you know what I can't? Bucky Barnes. How? Fell from a train in Siberia above an abyss.
Ice, the same way the other dude lives in
He
ice.
did not. No, he did not fall in ice. And Captain America had the super serum. Bucky was a rando.
He was the rando.
They
He
did
was a
explain it
beefy
in the
dude.
movie.
What? How?
They did
How do you
explain
do
it. When he was captured, like previous to that, they had started experimenting with him and like it injected him with like drugs or something to like help him survive the fall. Just saying, the movie did explain it.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
The
Not saying it was a good
Scythe
choice, but
The Scythe trilogy was ruined for me because of a very poorly handled resurrection trope.
Oh, are you serious?
I loved the first book so much, and book 2, I was like, I never recovered fully ever.
Yeah,
like, well, I've seen Scythe at the used bookstore twice now for like $2, and both time I'm like, I just can't do it. Like,
The first book's really good, I think.
but I don't want to just read the first book and not continue.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I had a positive view on that series, but over time it has soured greatly.
Christy, no, I think it does matter. Like, what was the point of killing someone if they're going to come back like 20 pages later? Christy just
Sorry,
said
I
something.
didn't know your guys' Voxer sound was on. So I asked, does it matter if the resurrection trope happens within 50 pages? Because I personally think it's not that big of a deal. But yeah.
I'm trying to
And
think of an
Ryan
example where
agrees.
that happens. Well, I'm trying to think of an example where it happens before I 100% commit.
I know. I can think of an example where it happened.
Are we saying it's better if it happens after time, or better if it happens?
I think
quickly?
Which example are we talking about?
I don't want to spoil anything.
50 pages in. It's not a spoiler.
Like I've heard.
Oh, don't spoil it. If it's
Yeah, I can't spoil it.
Can you just say the title of the book, or will that spoil it?
It would spoil it.
Okay, then no. Don't say it.
Like, buddy, you're talking about a resurrection that happens like right away at the beginning of a book. Is that what you're saying?
No, within 50 pages of the death.
I don't know. I've heard some people throw around the term resurrection as if it like the next page it turns out the character wasn't dead, and I don't count that. That's for
No,
sure.
that doesn't count.
50
No,
pages is a little different.
Yeah.
I'm talking
if
about
it's
they mourned them, they buried them,
Yeah.
like they had this traumatic experience, and then it's like, oh, hey guys, anybody up with some shawarma or whatever?
Yeah, like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe doesn't count, right?
Lion, the Wardrobe is heavily foreshadowed if you've
Well,
read other books.
yes, this is true.
Specifically one.
But still, like 2 pages later.
Michael.
Technically 4 books, Michael.
That's true.
Michael. Oh my gosh. Anyway, this is ridiculous. Christy, why do you like the resurrection trope? It sucks.
That was actually a joke reference that I was making. That's why I put it in the Voxer. It was a reference to an earlier conversation. So I don't love the resurrection trope.
Oh. Michael,
I was not defending it.
Michael, she's talking about the
I
man
was
who
talking
lied to
about
us.
that book. Anyways, so are we going back to tropes that we like now, or are we still on
No,
tropes that
I
we
think
hate?
we're almost done.
I think he's
been
going to
running,
cut us
done.
off. Our
we've been running an
insanity is-
hour
Are we at an hour? Okay.
of madness, guys. This is gonna be. I'm calling it right now. This is gonna be the highest viewed.
It will either be number one or the lowest. There's no middle
Or
slide.
we'll never see the light of
If
day.
it makes on there, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be tracking our analytics on this video.
Just call us the Howlers.
Yeah,
Rise or we fall together.
that's right.
Oh yeah.
It has a 2%
fun
watch
video.
time before everyone quits.
Everyone watched 30 seconds. They're like, I watched 5 minutes of this and they didn't talk about tropes once. Like, you're right. You're right. Instead, I think we talked about, I don't know what we talked about with the first 5 minutes.
I
was
think we
not-
threw out 10 tropes between the 5 of
Nothing
us.
no, I think it was absolutely nothing. I think we were just trash talking.
In the
We
first
just
5
insulted
minutes.
each other.
Pretty much.
We're all friends. We're all great friends. We talked about
Yes.
Michael.
It doesn't help that we spent the last hour beforehand trash talking each other.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, we'll close it with what is everyone reading now? What is everyone reading now? What are you reading, Christy, Lewis, Dostoevsky in Space?
Oh my gosh, what am I reading? I just finished like 7 things. The
Okay,
next
well-
thing I will be reading is
humble.
Iron
no, it's just a weird. I've just been reading a lot of things and finishing them all at the same time. I am gonna get the audiobook for this tomorrow because Hoopla, I will get my Hoopla borrows like re-upped on June 1st. So I am gonna start Iron Gold tomorrow.
Nice.
Leslie, what are you reading? Did you finish Iron Gold?
Nothing. I finished Iron Gold yesterday, and then I finished the 5th season right before we went live. So I'm done with all of my books, ready to
What's
start
next?
fresh tomorrow. Wise Blood is what I'll be starting with first thing in the morning.
What is that?
Wise Blood by Flannery O'Connor, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She is a
Nice.
powerhouse.
The
Nice.
condescension in that oh.
It wasn't meant to be
We
that
need
way.
to make a gif of that one.
Ryan, what are you reading next?
If
Or now.
I don't finish Rhythm of
Oh,
War
really?
this week, Chrissy will have my head, and there's like no
What?
question about that.
Yeah.
When did that book come out, Ryan?
Let's not talk about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
finishing Rhythm of
Wow.
War. Hot King comes in the mail tomorrow, and I'm starting the Gunslinger this week. So
Michael.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you ask me? I am about to start an indie published book called Rabbits by Terry Miles. It's about an ARG and whatever Dresden book I'm on. It's a Death Masks 7, I think.
No,
maybe? I don't
Death
know.
Mask is 5.
What's the one I'm on then, Leslie? You probably
7
know.
is
Leslie knows her
changes.
Dresden.
Yeah.
What's the one before that?
Ghost.
I told you I was.
Deadbeat.
That's the one I'm on. I'm on
Deadbeat.
Deadbeat. That one.
What is an ARG? An augmented reality game like Pokemon
Yeah.
Snap?
No,
Pokemon
like
Go?
real life scavenger hunty stuff, but also with like shadowy government organizations.
Like geocaching? You-
But like
Like
way cool.
geocaching?
Well, okay, in the book it's way cooler because it's also well, this won't make sense to a lot of people out there, but to people like Alan it will. It's a game that's a scavenger hunt that turns out to kind of be like 999.
Nice. You have to tell me.
I'm thinking it's gonna be real dope.
Nice. I'm trying to finish Iron Gold because then I have to read Shadow of the Gods because
Yeah,
I
you
have live shows for both of those things
Yeah.
this weekend.
Wow. Wow.
In the
Yes.
meantime, at some point, I
And
also
wait.
have to finish grades.
Wait. Alan, so you've got 2 live shows this coming weekend for books you were supposed to read in May.
Correct.
That's fantastic. You're gonna
Why?
bomb the readathon.
No, I
You can't
get-
finish all your May books.
I
Ones you have, planned things for. Oh
Why would
man.
they count for the readathon too?
They definitely count.
They may count, but you're behind, which means you're gonna be behind in June.
It just
Leslie,
means he has more to read.
Zeus.
Leslie, I didn't pick a book for all 16 prompts. I'm not
Zeus,
delusional.
yeah,
I'm not going to
you're-
read 16
You
books.
are delusional if
No,
you think
it's
you're
probably
gonna
going to be
win.
like 5. I'm probably going to have 5 books that I'm going to read.
Oh, even better. There's no way
I'm
you're
reading
gonna win
Dark Matter with
5
you, and we
books.
have a live show. Leslie.
I'm
Yes.
Sorry,
Ma'am.
El.
I'm so
Y'all read
excited.
Dark Matter. No, what do you don't even apologize?
I
Elle
love
is
this.
Elle is going to send us individual thank you cards saying, guys, thank you so much for the 1 million views we got on this. We actually
Winning
put
this
in
broadcast.
$16,000 for charity on the AdSense of this one alone. Nay, an anonymous donor contacted me via Instagram and said, I would like to donate my private island to charity because of the brilliance that was the trope talking video that I saw on Worldhoppers.
With the caveat that all 5 people be marooned there for the rest of their lives, never to
Fair.
be on BookTube again.
Fair. You know what? It'd be worth it for the cause.
Yeah.
No, he's going to be like, I would also like to sign all 5 of them to my very important international business advertisements. This is all true. So I'll make
Wow.
sure you guys leave me your email, your mailing addresses, so I can give those to Elle.
Yeah.
So
I'll be right on that.
for the thank you cards that we'll be getting for this amazing video that we produced. All right, so we are going to sign off to all the wonderful people watching this video. Good night.
Thanks,
Tropes.
guys.
Let us know what tropes you like down in the comments, and also tell us if any of these takes are terrible. Any of these bad ones. Bye.